Hi, my name is Mark Bloom. I am a biology professor at a conservative Baptist university in Texas. I've had a long history of dealing with the intersection of science and religion. I was raised in a very conservative Christian home. We went to church twice on Sundays and once on Wednesdays. All of our social network was through the church. It was a very important part of our lives, but I also at a very early age began to develop a love for science. I went to environmental science camps. I collected insects. I pressed plants. So I had a deep love for science, and science in a way seemed to make sense out of a disorderly world. And so I really appreciated that aspect of science. As I moved up in my K-12 progression, I took electives and additional biology courses and began to foster that knowledge growth. And it was, as so many others have told me during that time, that I began to perceive a conflict between my religion and what science was telling me. And it was through my church. It was the pastors who were telling me that our school teachers were going to be presenting us with ideologies, especially this silly, laughable, but also very dangerous idea of biological evolution, and that we needed to be very careful to avoid going down that path or we could compromise our faith. And so, not just evolution specifically, but science in general was kind of portrayed as somehow threatening to our religion. The problem was that didn't really ring true with me. I had already been studying science so much that I had gone so far down the path already that without formally understanding it, I was already beginning to interpret Genesis in a non-literal way. I could account for an old earth and a regional flood as opposed to a global inundation flood of the Noahic age. And yet I was being told that in doing that, I was compromising my Christianity. I remember a Sunday morning, the pastor actually saying, "You cannot be a Christian and have any integrity if you accept evolution." And so they really drew a line in the sand. And that line in the sand caused me to spend quite a few years sort of in my own spiritual wilderness. And during that time, I earned my master's degree in biology and my Ph.D. in science education. And now I am a non-majors biology teacher. And during those times, I also read many, many books, and I came to appreciate those of those people who have tried to reconcile their Christian worldviews and their scientific understanding of the world that we live in. People like Francis Collins and John Walton, I have found is extremely helpful to me. And so now, fast forward to now when I'm teaching non-majors biology and I see these students who are in the same situation that I was. I actually had one that told me she was considering giving up her faith in God because she couldn't reconcile these two beliefs, but that during my course she realized that science and religion could coexist together. And it's with that motivation that I'm now pursuing a second doctoral degree in leadership studies, where I'm studying culture changing leaders in hopes that I can identify the paths that Christian leaders in the scientific community have forged, that I can present those to other young developing minds so that they can arrive at a place where their religion is no longer in contradiction of the truth of what science has to tell them.